Welcome to our channel, Success Mindset. Thank you for joining us on this journey as we explore the deep values of success mindset and inner strength. What if the key to unlocking your ultimate potential lies not in seeking more, but in mastering yourself? Imagine waking up every day not ruled by your emotions, but with the power to shape your destiny. What could you achieve then? The Stoic way isn't about avoiding life's challenges. It's about embracing them and transforming every setback into an opportunity. Let's discover how. To walk the path of the Stoic, you must first realize what is within your power. In the pursuit of helping others, you must begin by helping yourself. This means mastering your mind, your reactions to both internal and external events, and your habits and impulses. Only then can you begin your journey towards self-mastery. You are not defined by what you have been or what you will become, but by what you choose to be. Within you lies the power to transform, to learn, and to improve yourself every day. Through the teachings of Stoicism, you can reach your ultimate potential. Nothing in life comes easy, and the Stoic path to greatness demands focus, attention, and mindfulness. It is a lifelong journey, one that requires you to constantly improve, aligning your actions with your virtues. In the grand tapestry of existence, we must reflect on the rarity and beauty of our own existence. Think about it. You are here now, not by mere chance, but by the unbroken chain of events that led to this moment. It's a story of resilience, a testament to the strength and perseverance of those who came before us. This realization reminds us that life is a gift. Every day is a new opportunity to cherish every breath, to find purpose in every hardship, and to face challenges not with despair, but with determination. When things don't go as planned, instead of seeing it as a failure, see it as fuel for your fire. When unexpected problems arise, view them as opportunities to test your resolve and ingenuity. When you wake up in the morning, remind yourself of the precious privilege it is to be alive, to breathe, to think, to enjoy, to love. As Marcus Aurelius wisely stated, life with all its trials and triumphs is a gift. Each day we are granted is another chance to shape our destiny, to make our ancestors proud, and to honor the legacy we will one day leave behind. It's easy to lose sight of this truth when we face difficulties. Yet, it is precisely in these moments that the true essence of Stoicism shines brightest. A Stoic is not emotionless. In fact, a Stoic feels deeply, but chooses to be indifferent to those emotions and act rationally. It's okay to feel hurt. It's okay to feel sad. But what a Stoic understands is that these emotions should never control you. Your ruling reason must guide your decisions, not fleeting emotional reactions. By embracing the Stoic way, we acknowledge the impermanence of life and the invaluable treasure of time. Time is something we cannot reclaim, so we must use it wisely. Every setback is an opportunity for a comeback, every loss a lesson in disguise. Every moment we live is a step toward achieving our highest potential. While we cannot control the winds of fate, we can adjust our sails, navigating through life's storms with a heart full of gratitude and a spirit that remains unbroken, living our lives with the conviction that we can achieve what we set our minds to, using the most powerful tool at our disposal, our minds, allows us to carve a path of virtue guided by the enduring light of Stoicism. Marcus Aurelius often reminded himself to reflect on what he had endured and the strength he had found in adversity. How often do we forget the mountains we've climbed and the rivers we've crossed? In overlooking these battles, both big and small, we also overlook the strength we gained by overcoming them. When facing new challenges, remember those moments when you felt overwhelmed. The weight of the world seemed unbearable, yet here you are standing and enduring. Let these memories not weigh you down, but lift you up. For in remembering what we have endured, we find the strength to face whatever lies ahead. The Stoics warned that living in comfort makes a man weak. The more you avoid discomfort, the more life controls you. Stoicism teaches us that real strength is found not in comfort, but in our ability to embrace discomfort and continue moving forward with resolve and purpose. As we reflect on the power of Stoicism and how it guides us through adversity, we come to understand that the true strength of a Stoic lies not in avoiding challenges, but in how we respond to them. It's about mastering ourselves, using our minds as tools for growth, and turning every obstacle into a stepping stone toward greatness. Let this be your reminder. Each challenge is a chance to rise stronger, to transform, and to live with purpose. Now let's move forward in our journey of self-mastery, with the Stoic mindset at our core. Building on the Stoic principle of self-mastery, we understand that it's through facing challenges head-on that we build true resilience and character. Now let's dive deeper into how life's difficulties, rather than being obstacles, are essential in shaping us into the strongest versions of ourselves. Life's greatest lessons often come not from comfort, but from the blows we face head-on. When a man confronts life's challenges directly, he learns, adapts, and grows stronger. Each struggle is an opportunity to build resilience, refine emotional control, and strengthen character. It's like exercise for the soul. Just as muscles grow when they are pushed and strained, your abilities, confidence, and mental fortitude expand when tested by life's resistance. Therefore, remember this fundamental Stoic rule. Difficulties strengthen the mind, just as labor strengthens the body. Seneca famously stated, "Fire tests gold, suffering tests brave men." It's in the most difficult moments that our true character is forged. Think of hardship as a sculptor's chisel. Each strike, though harsh, removes what is superfluous, revealing the masterpiece within. By adopting this perspective, we can transform our darkest moments into opportunities for personal enlightenment and strength. The Stoic mindset encourages us to reframe challenges as moments of growth. Instead of viewing them with fear or frustration, we learn to see them as the raw material for our transformation. If you find yourself acting to impress others or avoiding action due to fear of judgment, you have strayed from the path. In our pursuit of validation from those around us, we often play roles that we believe will earn us admiration and respect. However, this performance takes us further away from our true calling. The Stoics understood that acting to impress others, or cowering from action due to the fear of what others might think, makes us puppets, controlled by the ever-changing opinions of others. True power, they taught, comes from within. Through unwavering loyalty to your principles and dreams, the only person you are destined to become is the person you decide to be. If you decide to skip training because you're not feeling it, the missed session may seem like no big deal, but it's not just about the session, it's about the choice you made. That choice speaks volumes. You've decided to be someone who dodges hard work, someone who lets feelings dictate actions, who steps back when things get tough. To the Stoics, skipping that training is merely a symptom of a larger problem, the mentality that allowed it. That's the person you've chosen to be, the person who avoids challenges rather than confronting them. To become a Stoic, you must be extremely selective with who gets your attention, because you become what you give your attention to. As Epictetus wisely said, wealth consists not in having great possessions, but in having few wants. In an era where distractions constantly fight for our attention, this wisdom is more relevant than ever. The great thinkers of the past understood that the objects of our attention, whether they be people, ideas, or endeavors, inevitably influence our character. That's why, according to the Stoics, you must guard your attention with the utmost care, allowing only those things worthy of influencing your mind. The Stoics never asked for an easy life. They sought strong character. Therefore, Whatever came their way, whether difficult or easy, whether joy or sadness, was neutral to them. Their only concern was how they chose to respond to it. This life philosophy is one that many will never understand. It is about always making the best possible move, regardless of external circumstances. It's about striving for virtue, no matter what happens, focusing solely on character building and viewing the chaos around us as something that aids in this process. It's a call to always remember, our response to life's challenges defines who we are. In this Stoic journey, we learn that the only true control we have is over how we choose to react. Every challenge, every obstacle is an opportunity to build strength, character, and resilience. With this in mind, let's now explore how you can continue to cultivate this mindset in your daily life, ensuring that each moment becomes a step towards self-mastery. What will you choose today? Comfort or growth? Building on the Stoic understanding of internal strength and self-mastery, we now delve deeper into the idea that true greatness is forged through struggle, not comfort. The Stoics teach us that facing life's challenges head-on, rather than avoiding them, is what shapes a person's character and resilience. Let's explore how these principles of Stoicism help us grow stronger and more capable, regardless of the external pressures we face. The Stoic rule tells us that it doesn't matter what we bear, but how we bear it. According to the Stoics, the greatest men are characterized by their ability to deal with stress, yet society often teaches us the opposite, that stress is something to avoid. We're conditioned to believe that the moment we feel stressed, we must slow down or take time off, as if stress is inherently harmful. But the Stoics understood that just as a gem cannot be formed without enduring the earth's immense pressure, a great person cannot be formed without enduring life's challenges. Greatness is not born of ease, but of struggle and perseverance. Therefore, among the many Stoic quotes, one from Seneca stands out: "Just as a gem cannot be polished without friction, nor can a man be perfected without trials." The call to focus solely on yourself is not a turn towards selfishness, but a return to clarity. When your own mind is fortified, you can offer far more to the world than if you are perpetually drained by external demands. Ask yourself right now, who benefits if you neglect your own well-being for too long? Do you find lasting fulfillment in chasing the shifting expectations of friends, colleagues, or society at large? The Stoics would say no. They urge you to redirect your gaze inward, where real strength can take root and flourish. The Stoic repeatedly calls us back to the reality that the external world is never fully ours. We can participate in it, but we can never truly possess it. By training our attention inward, we allow the conditions for personal mastery to blossom. The secret to such mastery lies in gently redirecting our focus from the swirl of judgments and controversies that beckon from every corner, and instead turning it toward the steady flame of our inner life. Whether it's a challenge at work or a conflict in relationships, cultivating an unwavering sense of self ensures we are led by our own wisdom, not by any passing whim. Have you ever noticed how quickly outside influences can knock you off course when you haven't established your inner boundaries? When you devote your energy to pleasing every voice around you, you risk losing the thread of your own story, a story only you can narrate. The Stoics have long reminded us that inner tranquility stems from consistent self-awareness and disciplined thought. Marcus Aurelius insisted that outer chaos cannot invade the well-defended mind, a bastion of calm that sees life's flux without being consumed by it. Modern Stoics echo this principle, suggesting that focusing on ourselves doesn't mean ignoring the clamor, but rather actively choosing to cultivate our unique gifts. By refusing to be held hostage by external approval, we empower our innate ability to adapt, grow, and transform. The question becomes, are we willing to let go of the illusions that others shape our destiny and embrace our own capacity to walk unwaveringly along our chosen path? Such a commitment to ourselves is the quiet revolution that can set us free. Have you reflected on how the Stoic view adversity as a mirror that shows us where we still have work to do within our own minds? When life delivers its tests, if we remain fixated on external factors, we forfeit the opportunity to refine our character. Instead, we can choose to acknowledge adversity as a teacher, directing our energy to our reactions and discovering hidden strengths. Focusing only on ourselves in these moments grants us emotional freedom. No circumstance can rob us of our capacity to choose courage, compassion, or patience. Modern Stoic thinkers suggest that without the willingness to look inward, we risk stumbling blindly and repeating mistakes instead of learning from them. Each trial can awaken dormant virtues within us, forging resilience in the crucible of challenge. By locking our gaze on our own growth, we ensure that even pain becomes an instrument for forging the best version of ourselves. Do you welcome difficulties as catalysts that reveal your deeper capacities, or do you shy away from the lessons they carry? When you catch your mind wandering into gossip or fruitless comparisons, remember that each moment is a chance to redirect that energy toward constructive self-improvement. Have you recognized how often fear of judgment prevents you from taking steps that are true to who you are? By focusing only on yourself, you free that hesitant soul, allowing it to flourish without the shackles of external judgment. In embracing the Stoic way, we learn to turn inward for strength and resilience, cultivating the inner mastery that guides us through life's storms. The next step is to apply this focus to your daily life, carving a path where your actions align with your values. How will you harness the power of this self-reflection and internal strength to shape your future? Building on the Stoic understanding of internal strength and self-mastery, we now turn to the idea that true confidence comes from knowing oneself and remaining steadfast in the face of external pressures. The Stoic teaches us that while social connections are important, it's our inner trust that should anchor us through life's challenges. The Stoics acknowledge that our social bonds matter, but they caution against letting these bonds shape our every move. Such influence, they argue, erodes our authenticity. Seneca famously insisted that true companionship thrives when individuals know themselves so well that they neither lose themselves in the crowd nor isolate themselves out of fear. To walk with confidence in life, you need the anchor of self-trust, which forms when you consistently align your actions with your deepest values. Modern Stoic teachings reinforce this commitment. If you do not trust your own vision, you risk being swept away by anyone else's. Taking a bold stand for your internal truth fosters a luminous sense of purpose that outlasts fleeting praise. The question then becomes, will you let fear dictate the boundaries of your life, or will you realize that your true power lies in focusing on what you alone can cultivate? Have you ever wondered how to transform envy into inspiration, anger into wisdom, and doubt into curiosity? The Stoics teach that these emotional states are not enemies, but signals pointing to areas where we can refine our inner lens. When we remain centered on ourselves, we gain the space to interpret these signals without self-judgment or external blame. Emotions become data, guiding us to understand our attachments, fears, and hopes. Modern Stoics remind us that by calmly studying our emotional responses, we build emotional intelligence and carve out new paths to personal evolution. Each moment of introspection can pivot our emotional states into stepping stones, bringing awareness where there was once reaction. So in your quest for self-focus, ask yourself, How can I reshape frustration into an opportunity to examine my assumptions or cultivate patience? Answering such questions keeps the wheel of introspection turning, guiding you ever deeper into the heart of your own resilience. Have you asked yourself why certain situations trigger stress while others hardly faze you? The Stoics believed that it is our perception, shaped by our inner convictions, that determines how we experience events. By honing your ability to discern which thoughts serve you, you become the architect of your emotional landscape. Modern voices in Stoicism suggest adopting daily mental hygiene to realign these perceptions with more constructive truths. Through journaling or self-dialogue, you unravel unconscious beliefs that cause turmoil and replace them with convictions that foster growth. This simple but profound shift can bring serenity amid chaos because it teaches you to rest in your own capacity to interpret life. Marcus Aurelius would remind himself that external happenings cannot disturb the mind unless the mind permits it, a message that resonates through centuries, urging us to guard our mental gateway. Will you take up the mantle of your own mental architect, or will you leave the blueprint of your peace to chance? Have you reflected on how the Stoics view discipline, not as a harsh regimen, but as a deliberate choice for freedom? When you choose to focus on yourself, you embark on a path of self-discipline that actually broadens your horizons instead of narrowing them. True discipline, as Seneca might say, frees you from the chaotic rule of impulse, granting you the calm to make choices aligned with your highest aims. Modern Stoics encourage setting clear boundaries and habits that safeguard your mental space, ensuring that external noise doesn't consume your precious resources. This discipline, grounded in self-awareness, becomes a compass that keeps you on course in a world brimming with distractions. Each day brings a fresh chance to refine the system that sustains your peace, ensuring that you remain the artisan of your own life. In embracing the Stoic teachings of self-awareness, emotional intelligence, and discipline, we begin to master not only our actions, but our responses to the world around us. The true freedom lies in controlling what we can, our thoughts, our actions, and our emotional responses, while letting go of what we cannot. As we continue this journey of self-mastery, let us remember that we are the architects of our own lives, and every day is a new opportunity to build with purpose and clarity. Building on the Stoic understanding of self-discipline and focus, we now dive deeper into the idea that how we choose to live, both internally and externally, shapes our true potential. The Stoics remind us that our actions and mindset determine the quality of our lives, and it all starts with how we perceive ourselves and the world around us. You can either treat discipline as a chain, a burden holding you back, or as a guiding star leading you to the life you truly desire. Have you ever noticed how shifting your attention from what you lack to what you already possess changes everything? The Stoics teach us that gratitude is a powerful lens through which we can perceive the abundance in our lives. By focusing only on ourselves, we realize the wealth found in our own faculties, from the ability to think critically to the capacity for love and understanding. Modern Stoic minds emphasize that living with gratitude for what we can do rather than lamenting what we can't control is the key to lasting peace. The act of counting blessings transforms our perspective, inviting more mindful living and less reactivity. This gratitude aligns with the Stoic principle that virtue and contentment are found not in the circumstances themselves, but in how we interpret and use those circumstances. Can you pause for a moment to appreciate the hidden wonders within your daily grind? Can you let that spark guide your next step, pushing you toward deeper self-awareness and fulfillment? The Stoics remind us that our focus should always come back to ourselves, not in a selfish way, but in a way that nurtures our growth. When We constantly look outside ourselves for fulfillment. We miss out on the wealth within. Have you ever thought about the reality that every distraction you allow into your mind draws energy away from your personal evolution? The Stoics teach that life is short, and each day is an irreplaceable gift where we can either refine our character or let it lie dormant. Modern Stoics caution that in today's world, overflowing with digital diversions, it becomes crucial to be a vigilant guard of your attention. By devoting yourself to what truly matters, learning, practicing virtue, and fostering meaningful connections, you elevate your spirit. Focus only on yourself, not by ignoring others, but by acknowledging that you cannot fill another's cup if yours is empty. Every hour can be an investment in shaping your mind, purifying your intentions, and aligning your choices with your deepest values. Reflect on whether your daily schedule includes enough space to nurture the best parts of yourself, or if mindless scrolling has become a thief of your potential. Will you reclaim those hours with the fierce commitment the Stoics urge us to cultivate? Have you asked yourself if your daily conversations revolve around judgments of other people rather than reflections on your personal growth? When we spend energy dissecting other people's flaws, we feed a habit that diverts us from the discipline of self-examination. The Stoics understood that critical gossip harms us more than it hurts the subject of our scrutiny because it fosters negativity in our own hearts. Epictetus would advise that we evaluate how often we speak in ways that do not serve our journey, filling our minds with noise instead of clarity. Modern Stoics remind us that our words are a reflection of our internal climate. When our focus is on ourselves, we choose our words with care. By steering conversations toward wisdom, gratitude, and constructive ideas, we cultivate an atmosphere that supports our inner peace. Ask yourself, does your day-to-day dialogue reflect the virtues you aspire to, or does it scatter your energy in fruitless chatter? Have you ever considered the subtle difference between loneliness and chosen solitude? The Stoics teach us that spending time with ourselves deliberately and contentedly is not isolation, but rather a courageous act of self-discovery. Modern Stoics highlight the importance of creating space for introspection, recognizing that solitude is where true clarity and growth can happen. When we embrace our own company, we are given the chance to reset, to reevaluate, and to continue our journey with renewed focus and purpose. In this journey of focusing on ourselves, we find that every choice, every moment of introspection can guide us closer to the person we aspire to be. The Stoics teach us that by mastering ourselves, our time, our attention, and our thoughts, we can create a life that is truly aligned with our deepest values. As we continue on this path, let's remember that true peace doesn't come from external circumstances, but from the power to govern our inner world with purpose and intention. Building on the Stoic practice of introspection, we now explore how embracing solitude can become a powerful tool for self-awareness and growth. The Stoics teach us that moments of quiet reflection are not just breaks from life's hustle, but transformative opportunities for insight. Solitude can be an incubator for insight, helping us hear the whispers of intuition that often get lost in the hustle of daily life. In these quiet moments, we are able to witness the content of our minds with an objectivity that can be transformative. It shines light on old patterns and limiting beliefs that may have shaped us for years without us even noticing. Solitude, then, becomes a homecoming, a gentle sanctuary for renewal. It's in these spaces that we can take stock of our progress, dream of new possibilities, and become aware of who we truly are. By embracing such intervals of introspection, we learn to relish our own company. We realize that we are never truly alone. Therefore, focusing only on ourselves means respecting the sanctity of moments with no audience but our own heart. How will you welcome solitude into your life as a sacred appointment with self-knowing? Have you ever recognized how your inner dialogue shapes the entire landscape of your day, like a subtle chord that underscores all your actions? The Stoics remind us that the words we whisper to ourselves determine whether we face challenges with strength or crumble under pressure. Marcus Aurelius emphasized the need to survey our thoughts each morning, ensuring they align with virtue and clarity. Modern Stoics suggest practicing intentional affirmations, not as empty self-congratulation, but as reminders of what we aspire to become. By centering our internal monologue on acceptance, courage, and gratitude, we set the tone for how we engage with the world. Over time, this conscious habit reshapes our neural pathways, forging resilience and reducing anxiety. Ask yourself, which words do I feed my mind at dawn, and do they reflect the resilience and wisdom I truly seek? Have you asked yourself why the Stoics often speak of the present moment as the only stage we ever truly perform upon? They highlight that dwelling in regrets of the past or fantasies of the future robs us of the chance to shape who we are right now. Focusing exclusively on yourself means anchoring your awareness in the only reality that exists. This breath, this choice, this step. Modern Stoics advocate for mindful presence, suggesting we observe our thoughts without attachment, letting them come and go like passing clouds. By returning persistently to the present, we harness our fullest potential and reveal new pathways previously hidden by worry or nostalgia. Each present act of love, discipline, or courage reverberates far beyond the instant in which it is performed, sculpting our future and healing our past. Can you sense the power that lies in simply showing up fully to this very moment? Have you noticed how the Stoics emphasize letting go of control over outcomes while pouring genuine effort into the tasks at hand? Focusing only on yourself ensures you invest wholeheartedly in your intentions, unburdened by the results that lie beyond your influence. This approach fosters both diligence and serenity because it frees you from the chains of anxiety related to external variables. Modern Stoics call this principle detached engagement, reminding us that peace blossoms when we trust the natural order while doing our part with utmost dedication. By centering on our choices and actions, we weave a tapestry of integrity, one that cannot be undone by outcomes that pivot unexpectedly. Each day we have the opportunity to refine this practice, remembering that success is measured by the sincerity and virtue of our effort. Will you let go of the fruit you cannot control to better tend the soil you stand upon? Have you ever witnessed how small victories can accumulate into monumental transformations when you consistently focus on incremental self-improvement? The Stoics champion daily discipline, encouraging repeated acts of intention that over time shape your character in ways both grand and subtle. Whether it's maintaining composure during a stressful encounter or choosing patience instead of fury, each choice refines the sculpture of who you are becoming. Modern Stoics point out that no single triumph or misstep defines you, but rather the rhythm of consistent effort over a lifetime. This is why celebrating minor progress is a cornerstone of Stoic practice, as it reminds you that greatness is forged in the small moments, not just in the epic achievements. Day by day, your steady devotion to virtue and self-mastery carves out a legacy that is uniquely yours. Will you embrace these small steps? In embracing these small disciplined steps, we begin to build a life founded on purpose, presence, and resilience. The Stoics teach us that true mastery lies not in dramatic, sweeping victories, but in the quiet, consistent actions that shape us into the people we are meant to become. As we continue this journey of self-mastery, remember, each small step you take is a building block towards the life you are crafting. Are you ready to walk this path step by deliberate step? Reflecting on the Stoic principle of self-focus, we now delve deeper into how this mindset not only strengthens our emotional resilience, but also anchors us during life's inevitable challenges and changes. Embracing this inner strength is key to maintaining stability when external circumstances are out of our control. With steadfast commitment, trusting that it leads to mountains unconquerable by doubt. Have you ever asked yourself how focusing on yourself fosters resilience during times of tragedy or loss? The Stoics remind us that everything outside our inner moral domain is temporary. Thus, we must brace ourselves for changes that inevitably come. Modern Stoics refer to this as the principle of impermanence, noting that if we anchor our identity in what fades, we will be tossed by the winds of fortune. By turning inward, we build a foundation that no external shift can uproot, allowing us to grieve, adapt, and recover without losing our essence in heartbreak, disappointment, or unforeseen events. The self-focused mind holds firm, grounded in an understanding of its own unbreakable center. This is not detachment from love or human bonds, but a compassionate recognition that true stability must come from within. Are you prepared to develop this internal safety net so that when storms arise, you are sheltered by your own unshakable foundation? Have you recognized that focusing on yourself requires not only mental clarity, but also physical well-being? The Stoics believed in caring for the body as part of a holistic approach to a virtuous life, noting that it is through bodily health that the mind can function with optimal clarity. Modern Stoics echo this sentiment, supporting the idea that exercise, balanced nutrition, and sufficient rest are pillars of self-respect. This care is not vanity, but a commitment to preserving and refining the vessel through which your reason and wisdom flow. When you treat your body with kindness, you demonstrate alignment between your inner resolutions and external habits. Such harmonious living fosters both health and self-trust, enabling you to fully engage in the pursuits that matter most. Can you weave a gentle reverence for your body into your daily discipline, ensuring that your mind's fortress stands on a stable foundation? Have you ever wondered how the Stoics would approach the concept of dreams and aspirations? They would likely remind us that visualizing a future, while helpful, should not overshadow the concrete actions we take now. Modern Stoics advise using visions of possibility as inspiration, but never forgetting that the power of any dream lies in the diligence we apply to our current footsteps. By focusing on yourself right here, you transform hazy desires into tangible progress. Each small act completed, each refinement of skill, serves as a bridge between you and the aspiration that once only lived in your imagination. This grounded approach does not diminish hope, but rather honors it through real-world discipline and unwavering commitment. Will you continue to let dreams float unanchored, or will you seize each day to anchor them in the fertile ground of your consistent effort? Have you questioned how the Stoics would counsel us to respond when confronted with criticism or disapproval? They would urge us to remember that others' judgments exist outside our sphere of control, and thus should not disrupt our core equilibrium. By focusing on yourself, you can weigh any feedback with a calm, discerning mind, adopting what is useful and discarding the rest. Modern Stoic thought emphasizes that a strong sense of self leads to a measured reaction, one that does not lash out in anger or recoil in shame. Such an approach transforms critiques into learning opportunities rather than threats. This balanced engagement allows you to grow from constructive inputs while staying rooted in your own convictions. Will you embrace the Stoic stance of measured introspection when the world offers its unsolicited opinions? Have you ever contemplated how the Stoics would handle the temptation to multitask our lives away, scattering our focus in an endless pursuit of efficiency. The Stoics would remind us that true progress comes from purposeful, focused attention, not the frantic dispersion of energy in 1,000 directions. It's in the deliberate alignment of our time, attention, and efforts that we cultivate both virtue and mastery. By embracing the Stoic approach to focus and discipline, we can begin to see our challenges not as insurmountable obstacles, but as opportunities for growth. As we build this inner fortitude and sharpen our minds, we unlock the true power of self-mastery. The next step on this journey requires continuous reflection and a commitment to living in accordance with our values. How will you continue to shape your story through the lens of Stoicism? And what small steps can you take today to build the life you desire? As we continue our journey towards self-mastery, it becomes clear that the Stoic principle of focusing solely on oneself is a path to greater clarity and purpose. By turning our attention inward and mastering our thoughts and actions, we can create a life rich with meaning and fulfillment. The Stoics would likely advise us to cut through the haze of distraction by anchoring ourselves in deliberate presence, focusing on one meaningful pursuit at a time. In a world overwhelmed by constant demands for our attention, modern Stoics stress how chronic distractions sap our capacity to dive deeply into any one endeavor, leaving us perpetually fragmented. By focusing on yourself, you consciously decide what to attend to, reclaiming the richness of single-minded immersion. This approach fosters mastery, cultivates calm, and preserves the integrity of your mental resources. It echoes the Stoic principle that every moment is precious, and scattering it too thinly is to disrespect the finite nature of life. Will you continue to juggle numerous tasks at half capacity, or will you choose the Stoic path of honoring one focus at a time? This decision is one that shapes your ability to live with purpose and clarity. Have you noticed how feeding resentment or grudges directs precious energy away from the blossoming of your own virtue? The Stoics regarded anger and vengeance as chains that keep us bound to the very people who offended us. By focusing on ourselves, we learn to break those chains and funnel our inner power into self-transformation. Modern Stoics remind us that carrying grudges is like drinking poison and expecting someone else to be harmed. Instead, letting go of these burdens frees us to invest in the goodness we can cultivate within. This does not mean accepting mistreatment, but rather responding to it through productive, forward-looking actions. Can you imagine the liberation of releasing old resentments and claiming that energy for your own growth? The ability to forgive and move forward allows us to channel our emotions into constructive endeavors that align with our deepest values. Have you reflected on the fact that focusing on yourself may sometimes feel lonely as you separate from the crowd's easy distractions? The Stoics acknowledge this difficulty, yet they remind us that solitude can be a crucible for authenticity. Modern Stoics declare that in those spaces of quiet, we learn to be our own companion, forging a fellowship with the deepest layers of our spirit. This inner relationship fosters independence and stability, as it no longer relies on the fleeting presence of others for validation. Over time, we learn that true belonging begins with belonging to ourselves, a reality that clarifies our connections with those we choose to welcome into our lives. Though the path may occasionally feel isolated, it is also illuminated by the steady glow of your own guiding values. Will you walk that solitary stretch, trusting it leads to a profound unity with who you are meant to be? Have you thought about how focusing on yourself includes evaluating the voices you allow to shape your thinking? From social media influences to the books and teachings you consume, the Stoics caution against letting any unexamined doctrine embed itself in your worldview. Modern Stoics echo that we must actively choose mentors and inspirations that align with virtue and clarity. When you surround yourself with constructive, enlightened perspectives, you supply your mind with nourishment that fosters growth. Conversely, ignoring your mental diet leaves you vulnerable to confusion or despair as toxic ideas take root. Adopting this vigilant approach to external influences means practicing a healthy boundary around your internal sanctuary. Will you guard your mind from negative influences, protecting your clarity and purpose so that you can stay true to your highest aspirations? By consistently focusing on ourselves, we begin to clear away the noise of the external world and cultivate a life of intentionality, self-reliance, and emotional freedom. As we continue on this journey of self-mastery, let us remain vigilant in our commitment to personal growth and the pursuit of a virtuous, purpose-driven life. Building on the Stoic foundation we've discussed, focusing on yourself is a lifelong journey, not a final destination. It's a continuous process of growth, one that demands daily attention and unwavering dedication. The Stoics teach us that true mastery of the self doesn't happen in a flash of enlightenment, but rather through the steady rhythm of daily commitment. It is in the dance of improvement, where triumphs and setbacks flow together, that we truly advance. The Stoics understood that self-mastery is a perpetual quest, not something achieved in an instant. Modern Stoics encourage this ongoing dance with improvement, one that ebbs and flows with successes and failures, but always moves forward. Each new day presents another opportunity to refine your thoughts, strengthen your habits, and recommit to living in alignment with your core values. This cyclical nature of growth is a gift, reminding us that as long as we persist, growth is always available. Each day is another chance to show up with an open heart and a discerning mind, ready to learn and evolve. As you walk this path, think about how focusing on yourself can change your perspective on life itself. Are you willing to view this journey of self-knowledge and self-mastery as an unfolding story, one that you are writing with every breath? The Stoics believed that this journey is less about reaching an endpoint and more about continually deepening our understanding and improving our actions. The goal is not perfection, but persistent growth. With each step forward, we shape who we are becoming. How do you feel now, having explored these Stoic insights? Do you feel more at peace, more motivated, or more awakened to your potential? Perhaps a spark has ignited within you, a renewed sense of purpose, a reminder to return to your center whenever distractions arise. The Stoics, both ancient and modern, remind us that this shift in focus isn't about shutting out the world. It's about meeting it from a grounded, centered place of inner sovereignty. Every challenge and opportunity we face can be seen as an invitation to stand firm in who we are, trusting that our core orientation will guide how we navigate life's complexities. Each morning we can greet the day with quiet determination, and each night we can give thanks for the lessons learned along the way. This is the Stoic path, focusing on yourself, not as an act of isolation, but as an affirmation of your unique role within the greater whole. Are you ready to lean into this moment and begin again, taking the first step towards this profound transformation? Have you recognized that all these reflections ultimately lead to a timeless truth? Your mind, your choices, your life, whether guided by Marcus Aurelius's gentle reminders or modern Stoic voices, the wisdom remains the same. Mastery and true. Serenity blossom when you focus on yourself. This is not a selfish act. It is the most natural step toward flourishing in a world that constantly pulls your attention in 1,000 directions. Within this dedicated space of self-focus, you reclaim clarity, resilience, and the capacity for genuine compassion. Each time you return to your inner fortress, you strengthen its walls with insight, humility, and courage. You become fully alive to your own unique melody, no longer drowned out by the clamor of external demands. Are you ready at last to claim this seat of true freedom? Have you considered that by embracing the essence of focusing on yourself, you grant permission for your authentic voice to emerge, unapologetic, unburdened, and vibrant? The Stoics would celebrate such an emergence, for it marks the moment you claim rightful stewardship of your mind and destiny. In a world brimming with distractions and fleeting judgments, the one sure and wise endeavor is the cultivation of the self. When doubt or judgment rises, return to the voice within. Let it remind you that no external wave can sink a steadfast soul. In doing so, you transcend the illusions of superficial success and hollow acceptance, grounding your life in the steady pulse of purpose. With each passing day, your resolve to stay centered deepens, forging a link in the chain of Stoic tradition that has been passed down through the centuries. Will you let this tradition flourish in your own life, stepping into each new morning with clarity and conviction, ready to create a life of meaning and mastery? As we've already explored, focusing on yourself is not about isolation. It's about embracing the immense power of your inner world. Now let's reflect deeper on what it truly means to trust in that inner compass, to become the guardian of your own mind. Have you felt that stirring deep within, that unwavering sense of something powerful calling you to align with your true self? It's as if a silent chord is struck within you, resonating with an ancient wisdom that asks you to step into your own power. That chord is the Stoic invitation to become the guardian of your inner realm. Focusing on yourself is the key to unlocking a transformative power that changes your life from the inside out. There is no external achievement, no accolade, no circumstance that can replicate the quiet confidence of someone at peace with their own mind. This confidence isn't just about external accomplishments, it's about an internal peace that others can sense and admire. The modern Stoics affirm that in a world that's constantly shifting, this ancient wisdom remains a steady compass, guiding us through the storm of uncertainties. And as you navigate your own journey, this compass will lead you not by external circumstances, but by your own decisions, grounded in deliberate action, thoughtful reflection, and an open heart. This inner focus, this connection with your true self isn't just about making the right choices. It's about ensuring that each choice you make radiates a message of courage and compassion, anchored by the Stoic principles of self-mastery. Are you ready to trust that silent chord within, allowing its resonance to guide you toward new heights of understanding? What lessons will you carry forward from this journey of focusing on yourself through the lens of Stoicism? Perhaps, as you've gone deeper into these teachings, you've discovered a renewed devotion to daily practices like self-examination, journaling, or maybe you've become more willing to face adversity, not as a foe but as a silent mentor. The goal is not to simply memorize Stoic ideals, but to integrate them into the very fabric of your being. You are meant to let these timeless principles animate your every moment, guiding your actions with intention. In doing so, you become a living testament to the power of inner alignment. And as you continue on this path, you'll serve as an example to others who are seeking clarity and purpose in the chaotic world around them. The Stoics, both ancient and modern, are watching from the halls of history, applauding each step you take toward genuine self-possession. Let your journey show the world that the path of self-focus is not a lonely road, nor is it a narrow one. Instead, it is a radiant avenue leading to truth, freedom, and transcendence. It is a journey that expands your understanding and deepens your connection to the world around you. The final question is this: are you prepared to take these reflections and use them as a spark for your own ascent? Will you step forward with grace, guided by the unwavering light of your own soul, to live the life you were truly meant to live?